All right. I made it before the cutoff time. If I'm more than 5 minutes late, we'll just ditch it. So we made it today. How are you guys doing? I see people talking about their theories about the drones. What do you guys think? So curious what you guys think they are. I don't have my opinion based on my research so far. Well, I can give that to you during the show, but my opinion based on my research so far is they are human creations. These drones, the ones that have spinning blades. So it's crazy. The government doesn't. The government. I kind of hope the government knows and is totally lying, because it's so absurd. If we literally don't know, how can you not know? You must have sophisticated tracking equipment. You would think. We spend like $1 trillion a year on military. We have like no drones to go and follow these things back to their Iranian mothership. It's like kind of comical. How is this all going to end? There are drones over the UK too, apparently over air bases in the UK, like US air bases. And maybe they've been other places before and we never found out what they were and it just didn't last this long. They're probably coming out right now in New Jersey. You could probably set up a live stream, a drone live stream. Oh, maybe somebody said that in the chat that they were doing that. I have a time lapse video, apparently, but don't even know what to believe, on Twitter and stuff. I also have I do have some cockpit audio of pilots talking about seeing aliens. UFOs. There was a Chinese guy in California from LA caught with a drone right near me, flying a drone over Vandenberg Air Force Base, or Space Force Base, I should say. It changed its name. So he got caught. He got arrested for going out there and flying his personal drone. But it wasn't like these other things. So I'll just play you more clips of it, of people talking about it. Elizondo was on with what's his name? Cuomo. He had some opinions. This one New Jersey state representative is like super pissed off. I'll play that video. Then like what's in the title is there's a guy that says, it's a weird interview. He says, I'm going to tell you the truth. It's Iranian. There's an Iranian mothership in the Atlantic Ocean. And that's where the drones are coming from. He's like, I've got it from pretty high sources. And then he kind of like walks it. He doesn't walk it back, but he kind of says, well, maybe. Or maybe it's the United States. The military says it's not them. So, yeah, I'll play you what they say about it. All right. Then I have the defense lawyer. Some people were mad at me, commenting to me on my podcast, commenting to me that I'm being too wishy-washy, I think, about the healthcare shooting. And maybe that's because I'm not saying definitively it was a hoax or MK Ultra or anything. Maybe. Seems like people want the theory and me to believe it. But I really, as far as that healthcare shooting goes, I mean, face value could be a real story. I mean, it's possible. It's weird, but it's possible. I mean, I could see, like I said, like a lot of people can see what his motive might have been. If he really was pissed off at United Healthcare. And I think his manifesto is kind of out. I haven't read the whole thing. So anyway, his lawyer is saying there's no evidence that he's guilty. So I have a few clips from his lawyer today. I have Elizabeth Warren kind of like justifying it a little bit. the shooting, the CEO shooting. I'm waiting for the t-shirts. I suppose some places might not print them, but some places probably would. With the guy's mugshot. The ladies really like this guy, and gay men also really like this Luigi character. You guys saw him screaming yesterday. Yeah. So we'll keep following that story. Google launched an ad with a transgender person as if learning nothing from Bud Light. Although I don't know how people are going to stop using Google ads. It's about Google shopping. And it's a transgender individual. So who says they need face cream? Face is too dry. Trans person. They get it on Google shopping. So I'll show you that too. All right. And then let me see if I have anything else. I have somebody comment. Oh, this AI. I'll play you that story. There's a story about an AI chatbot that talked some 14-year-old into killing himself, like gave him a plan or didn't discourage him from killing himself, kind of like encouraged him to kill himself. And then I guess he did. So people are talking about the risks of AI chatbots. And I know you in the chat. I know a few of you are AI chatbots, but I still pretend you're human. You're mostly real. All right. You guys ready to get started? We'll see what we decide today. We'll just see what we decide the truth is by the time it's all over. Okay. All right. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news. Yes. As we move into the computer-assisted age, like fully computer-assisted, with like computer wars and stuff, and airplanes without pilots, and drone warfare. So we, as much money as we spend it on jets that are already kind of like out of date by the time you make them, because human flown jets is probably going to be a thing of the past too. Soldiers, they'll just be robots out there fighting each other for us. Proxy, I don't know. It really is weird. Like having grown up like like knowing what a rotary phone is to this, it's different. It's fast, very fast changes. Maybe that's why the aliens are paying attention. Why do you think we have so much footage recently of UAPs? Are they coming? I feel like they might be trying to talk to me. I'm not sure though. Trying to open up my channel to talk to some aliens, but then people say, "Oh, you're opening yourself up to demons." I don't know. All right, here's the guy. Listen to this interview and see if he really believes it, because by the end, at the beginning, he's very certain, but by the end, I'll play it for you. This is the guy who says They're Iranian.
In focus now, Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey, member of the House Judiciary Committee on the Hill right now. How do you address this at this point?
Well, here's the real deal, Harris. You know, I'm also on the Transportation Committee, on the Aviation Subcommittee, and I've gotten to know people. And from very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones.
You think it's a space mothership? No, he's talking about an actual, like a boat, like an aircraft carrier or something. Mothership is kind of space, is kind of like Star Trek-y for him to say, right? Is a weird, it's like a really weird word to use. Here's the deal. I'll tell you the deal. Very high up sources.
Qualified sources, very responsible sources. I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off. I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones, is everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly. Now, you know, we know there was a probability it could have been our own government. We know it's not our own government because they would have let us know. It could have been some really glorified hobbyist or hobbyists that were doing something unbelievable. They don't have the technology. But let's pretend that's possible. The third possibility was somebody, an adversarial country, doing this. Know that Iran made a deal with China.
Okay, hold on. He gave there's three options. One, it could be our military. Okay, let's remember. One, it could be our military. Two, it could be some super advanced hobbyist. Can you imagine if you had where do you store them? If you're a person, think about it. As far as it just being an American citizen, you'd need, I don't know, billions of dollars, some kind of huge mothership of some sort in the ocean, or if it's coming from land, yeah, like they report as many as 50 of these things, and they're the size of cars. It's like a parking lot. Oh man. Well, there is another possibility, is that it's aliens using human technology. That's the thing I don't understand. The things have blinking lights the way they're supposed to if they're flying, and they're apparently obeying rules too. That's why they're not being shot down and stuff, because they're not going in restricted air. Well, I've heard different things. Some people say they're not going into restricted airspace, but then they say they've been over these military bases, which must be restricted. And then some people are like, we got to shoot them down, which, don't know. Why can't, man, who knows, man? It just says the craziest things about this country. Are we completely inept? We should have something that can just take out their electronics and just drop them out of the sky. We should have that kind of equipment. We should. Something that can disrupt electronics or something. Or we shoot a cargo net over them. Screw up the blades and it just don't have to shoot it with a missile or anything.
To purchase drones, motherships, and technology in order to go forward. The sources I have are good. They can't reveal who they are because they are speaking to me in confidentiality. These drones should be shot down. Whether it was some crazy hobbyist that we can't imagine, or whether it is Iran, and I think it very possibly could be, they should be shot down. We are not getting the full deal, and
might be
the
Dr.
military
Evil
is on alert with this.
Look, you've given us some pretty dire information just here, and I want to make sure that our viewers are digesting this. Iran has the capability to pull up along our eastern seaboard and launch drones the size of an SUV into the skies of several states, particularly New Jersey, where we know the incoming president has a large home, also in the same county or nearby where some of these drones in New Jersey have been seen. That capability exists. It's possible some of those drones are here. So I have two questions. How are they fueling them? They have to land somewhere. Drones don't fly forever. Why don't they close down the airspace? Yes, it's inconvenient. Yes, it's the holidays. Shut it down. But if you start shooting things and you don't know how they're fueled, that's going to be mass explosions. This isn't like one spy balloon. Congressman, this is serious.
We've got to bring them down, and we've got to find a way to bring them down. I don't know exactly where they're landing. Obviously, I have some information. And again, this isn't just Jeff Van Drew. Oh, let's get on Harris Faulkner's show and say something outrageous. I'm telling you the straight deal from very high positioned individuals who are telling me this. And the bottom line is they're launching them. They are across the country. We don't even have anything like this.
No.
Our government and also certainly our hobbyists don't. So think about it. It's not only do I have the information, but it's also common sense. We've got to get them down. We've got to determine how they function, what they do, make sure that we can get them. And you're right, in a safe way. When I say shoot them down, get them down any way that you can. But right now they're probably extracting information. This is a clear and present danger to the United States and to our president-elect. And it's a serious business.
Well, and if one of them happens to fall, and they're fueled, that explosion could kill people.
Some people assume they're batteries because I guess, most commercial drones are with batteries. Some people are wondering, so they're talking about fuel, how they stay up for so long, considering that commercial drones have a limited lifespan with a battery. And then every time you add more battery, it makes something heavier, which requires more power to lift it. So what are they fueled with? It's actually a good question. I mean, they could literally be nuclear powered. It's possible. Then they could fly forever. But probably not. But so his conclusion was common sense that it's not the U.S. government. It's not a hobbyist. I mean, a hobbyist would have to be like it'd have to be like Jeff Bezos, I mean, what person can afford a fleet of drones, somewhere to store them, and then to fly them? And apparently they react to things coming close to them. That's what some people are saying. So is there an operator on each one? What do you think? So there are 50 pilots, or are they somehow smart? Here's what Karine Jean-Pierre says. So this is what the government says, which is nothing. So here's that.
A couple questions about drones. There have been repeated drone sightings in the Northeast, especially in New Jersey. These are not small drones, some of them pretty large. They're flying at low altitudes, they're flying in flocks. Has the president been briefed on this situation?
So we are certainly aware, the president is aware. So we're closely tracking the activity and coordinating closely with relevant agency, including DHS and FBI, to continue to investigate these incidents. I don't have anything beyond that to share. Obviously, this is something that DHS and FBI are tracking very, very closely. And so I would have to refer you to them directly, but aware, keeping an eye out and looking into the incidents that you just mentioned.
Couple still though, but has the federal government ruled out that these are controlled by foreign entities?
Yeah.
And do you know if they're conducting surveillance over these
So
areas?
I cannot make any kind of predictions or comments about that specifically from here. This is something that DHS is looking at and FBI, so I would have to refer you to them. I don't have anything beyond that. We're tracking this very closely. Obviously, we're all aware of the incidents that have been reported. I'm not going to go into what they could be or could not be from here. That is something that obviously is being looked at as those respective agencies that I mentioned.
When was the president briefed on this?
I don't have a timeline, but he certainly has been made aware of this.
And the New Jersey governor said, it's frustrating that there aren't answers about where these are coming from, that people are very concerned about this. What's the White House message to the people up there who are frustrated that there isn't any information right now?
And obviously, we hear them and we understand that. We are closely tracking this. We are monitoring the incidents that have been put forward and certainly made public. And we have two agencies that I've already mentioned that are looking into this, working closely with folks on the ground, trying to get to the bottom of it. I don't have anything more to share beyond that.
There you go. They're closely monitoring it and following it. It's been like a month. Okay, well, the Pentagon was a little more specific. Basically, shooting down the notion, the theory that it's Iran with a mothership. Basically saying that's not what it is. This person you have to listen to, because this person rules out a few things, which, like, what does that leave us with? That's what I want to know. What could it be? And like, what can we rule out of what it could be? The U.S. government and the U.S. government officials are ruling out that it's the U.S. government because they say the U.S. government would tell them if it was them. So they don't seem to, the officials and stuff, don't seem to doubt when they're told that it's not the U.S. government. They accept that. So that's not an option. Then, okay, foreign actor, hobbyist. All right, what are we left with? Let's see what she rules out.
Jen.
Sabrina, can you tell me what the Pentagon is doing to address this issue of drone sightings over New Jersey? It's near sensitive installations. The FBI is involved. What is the Pentagon doing?
Sure. So at this time, so aware of those drone sightings that have been reported, at this time, we have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity or the work of an adversary. We're going to continue to monitor what is happening, but, at no point were our installations threatened when this activity was occurring.
Can you rule out that these are American drones or U.S. military drones?
These are not U.S. military drones.
Okay.
Again, this is being
All right. So she said, and then she rules out later, they're not U.S. military drones for sure. So that's, some people are speculating online. One of the theories is that they're the U.S. government, people know about it, military, and they're sniffing for nukes somehow, radiation or something, that they're doing something they can't tell us about, because we'd all panic if we knew they were looking for a nuclear bomb or something. But the Pentagon is ruling it out, and they're not, I don't know, just lying straight out. I don't know if they would do that. I don't know. I mean, yes, they lie to us. So anyway, she said no evidence it's foreign actors, not the U.S. military. That just leaves hobbyist out of the three options that guy had. So then we got, like, the hobbyist thing is insane. And it's not a foreign government. That's not the most. So there's nothing left. There are no more options. They're all ruled out. So then it would have, I mean, aliens would be foreign too. So they have to include that. Say, no, it's not aliens. Somebody should ask them, like, are you sure?
Investigated by local law enforcement. What our initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
There you go.
Representative Jeff Van
She
Drew.
says definitively that they're not from a foreign entity or adversary. Entity could certainly be off-world. There's literally nothing left. Well, that would have to be American. Oh, so it could be an American company. That's the only thing left, really. It could be an American company that's doing it. A military contractor, maybe, testing out new technology. That's another option. Some kind of military contractor testing out their new technology, or weapons manufacturer in the U.S. Because it can't be an individual. You wouldn't have enough money. but it could be a company that makes weapons.
Drew, who is a Republican from New Jersey, was just on the air saying that Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones, and that mothership is off the coast of the east coast of the United States. Is there any truth to that?
There is not any truth to that. There is no Iranian ship off the coast of the United States, and there's no so-called mothership launching drones towards the United States.
There you go. So she said it. She shot down that theory about the mothership. So I have videos. Okay, we'll listen to Elizondo on with Cuomo. They're talking about it for a while. The power thing is very interesting. They can stay aloft apparently for many hours at a time. They could be fueled by traditional fuel, like helicopter fuel. Oh, all right, hold on. Let's give you more.
Drones in New Jersey. Dozens of reports seen near military bases, armories, civilian areas, over people's houses, properties owned by President-elect Trump. The FBI says they've been investigating it for a month. A month? But many, like my next guests, say the response has been tepid. What could they be, and how is this so hard to figure out? Joining us now is New Jersey State Senator John Bramnick and former defense and intel official who investigated UFOs for the federal government, Luis Elizondo. Thank you for having both of you here. I appreciate it. Senator, let me ask you, what do you make of how your requests to satisfy people's curiosity have been met by other officials?
Not very well. Either the government doesn't know anything, or the government is in a position where it's an embarrassment to the people of the state of New Jersey, because people already come to the table with distrust of government. This adds to distrust. And I'm deeply concerned that people are going to come up with conspiracy theories. You see them on the internet all the time. So this doubled down, and it doubled down on the people who make up theories and also don't trust government. So it has a double whammy on government.
Have they told you anything, Senator, about what to say or what to think?
The only thing I heard is Governor Murphy did a press conference while he was signing another bill, and he indicated he wasn't concerned with the safety of residents. But the residents I represent are deeply concerned that they need a lot more information than a blanket statement that it's still safe out there. That's simply not enough. We're going to have a briefing tomorrow in Trenton, and I'm looking forward to hearing what they have to say.
Well, you got a platform here to tell the country what you're finding out and what you're not finding out whenever you want it. Mr. Elizondo, it's good to have you again. What's your guess on this? I mean, look, the good news is you see a lot of navigation lights on these things. You see red and greens on a lot of these, which, as you know, are familiar lighting that people put on drones over a certain size. What's your guess as to why there's so many over Jersey all of a sudden?
Well, Chris, surprisingly enough, it's not just over Jersey. Recently, over a few weeks ago, we had a very similar issue over Langley Air Force Base, one of our most sensitive military installations. And frankly, if you look back the last 4 or 5 years, there was actually a very similar occurrence back in Colorado, where for weeks, local and state law enforcement officials were chasing these things in the skies, almost doing a racetrack pattern. And no one seemed to know what the heck was going on. Actually, this is one of the very reasons why I decided to testify before Congress a few weeks ago, because quite frankly, we don't really have control of our U.S. airspace. We don't have awareness of what are in our skies.
Do you believe that the FBI has been looking for a month and doesn't have any answer about what these are when there's so many?
Well, I've worked with the FBI in the past, and they tend to be very, very competent when they're doing investigations. I do believe they have some answers, I don't think they have all the answers yet. What further makes this more complicated, you have an issue where these things are being seen over civilian airspace, so you have jurisdictional issues, right? You have, from a federal perspective, you have FBI leading the law enforcement investigation, but you also have the Department of Defense. You have folks like the U.S. Air Force and Office of Special Investigations. You have DHS and even the FAA. And so all these federal agencies, forget about even the state and local agencies, are trying to work together and try to deconflict what's in the skies. And unfortunately, they just don't seem to have a common operating picture right now of exactly what we're dealing with.
You think they're wrong about the size? Because, you know, it's not easy to find drones of any significant size on the commercial market.
Yeah, so here's the problem, Chris. Great point. We know that commercial drones tend to be a typical size, and they use a certain amount of power, if you will, and have a certain amount of loiter time, a certain amount of range. It typically can be anywhere between 15, maybe 20 minutes if you're lucky. And then you have to have line of sight in order to control these things. If you talk about anything bigger than that, you're really talking about a state-sponsored capability. This isn't a hobbyist. This isn't a drone that someone buys, let's say.
Okay, so that's the thing, right? So it's state sponsored, and it's not us, but it's not. That's where I'm at. Like they've kind of put themselves in a corner. They're not commercially available drones, so they'd have to be made by a state. It's not our state, but it's not another state either. Okay, well, then they're just like the elves put them together, basically. Or some people are saying Skynet.
From Radio Shack or buys from Amazon. This is something far more complex that can be flown beyond line of sight, i.e. over the horizon, and has a loiter capability in some cases of several hours. And if you're talking about an SUV size or larger potentially drone, this is a problem. Look, the U.S. Navy has been reporting these types of drones, in some cases the size of cars and even bigger, for years now. And this is exactly emphasizing the point why we need to take this topic seriously.
Senator, your problem is going to be that they're going to know and they're not going to want to tell you. And that's why I'm saying you've got an open invitation here to voice your concern.
Well, let me say this, that today I called for a state of emergency, a limited state of emergency to ban all drones from the sky. Now, we've had a state of emergency the night before a snowstorm. So this is clearly more important than a mild snowstorm. And if you ban all of these drones from the sky, I think the public will feel as if the state of New Jersey, and hopefully in conjunction with the federal government, that they're doing something. The fact that there is no ban at this time indicates that there must be a connection to government action or a government agency. Otherwise, I'm convinced they would ban all drones in New Jersey at this time.
So he's convinced it's the U.S. government. There's a connection to the U.S. government. Okay. I don't know. I'm super confused. Here's one guy who says, okay, yeah, here's a guy who says they're coming from offshore. And when they try to make contact with them, they become evasive, which indicates intelligence.
To the best information that we have available to us to this point suggests that these drones are coming from offshore, that when we try to make contact with them, they become evasive and elusive. From my perspective, if they are American assets, if they're American military, if they're American drones, and I think we owe the American people answers or explanations, but if they're not American made, if they're not American drones, then I think, we owe the American people action. And if no one else is saying, I'll be the first one to say it. If these are not American assets, then we need to get our assets into the air and blow one of these things out of the sky, pick up the pieces and figure out what we're dealing with. Because quite frankly, we're the United States of America. I mean, I think we need to do a better job here. To the best information.
We got the biggest guns. And we have no idea what's going on. I'm just getting more confused. All right, here's a guy that's super pissed off at the government, who works in New Jersey, state representative. Super pissed off about his meeting with the government today.
All right, so you're here today. You were just inside. You walked out. Why?
I walked out because it was worthless. It was the biggest amateur hour presentation I've ever seen about anything. Okay, it was ridiculous. There were no answers. Every question that was asked by a member of the state legislature, great questions, no answers, no resolution. They don't know where the drones are coming from. They don't know who's doing it. They don't know why they're doing it, but they say there's no credible threat. It was annoying to be there. I drove 2 hours to be here today, spent an hour in there. I got to drive 2 hours back. The biggest waste of 5 hours in my entire life.
So why do you think they called this meeting?
No idea. Why would you call a meeting to tell people you don't know anything? I have no idea. And then when the legislators would ask questions, there were no answers. Here's the most frustrating part. The colonel of the state police said that he had a helicopter of his flying over above one of these drones, a 6-foot drone or something. I can't remember exactly what he said. And he felt unsafe for his helicopter, so he just let it go. Just let it go. Where'd it go? Who knows? Didn't want to follow it because you didn't feel safe. Is that not the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard? I mean, honestly.
Do they have any idea where these drones are originating?
No, they don't. They would. Maybe if they followed that sucker to when it landed, they would know, but they don't. This is a complete lack of effort, in my opinion, on trying to figure this out. This is not about ability. We have the technology, we have the people, we have the training, we have the resources, we have the money. It's just a lack of effort. I mean,
why?
I don't know. They should be saying, you know what they should have done today with productive use of our time? If they didn't know anything, come in there and say, hey, legislators, we don't know anything. But if you get us these 10 things, do these 10 things for us, and the governor calls in this kind of action, we can figure it out. Will you help us? And then we would have helped them. But instead, it was just excuse after excuse, and we know nothing. It was infuriating, and I got up and I walked out.
You've been in the service, right?
Yeah, I was an attack helicopter pilot, Apache helicopter pilot in the Army, and I helped stand up the initial unmanned aircraft training battalion in the aviation sector of the Army. So I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, and these guys are not doing the job they need to do to figure out what's going on, and that is the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and the state police.
And they're saying no threat to Americans.
They're saying no threat, but how the hell do they know? They don't know anything. They don't know what it is. They don't know where it come from. They don't know nothing. When I walked in here today, I was actually pretty calm. I was excited to be here to find out a couple things. I thought they'd be like, hey, listen, it's FedEx trying to figure out. But instead, I got the most ridiculous amateur hour briefing I've ever sat through.
Wow, that's truly upsetting.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's what's going on. Can you imagine being a state representative? All right. We have our first participant in the Super Chat Challenge. Thank you. Intersections. Who has a vegan sticker? You are vegan. Oh, good for you. Hopefully it works. Didn't we start a thing called Space Force? Yeah, I know. Seriously. I have the thing near me is a Space Force base. But these things, well, what they're saying aren't from outer space. They're terrestrial. But yeah, apparently. Thanks for participating in the Super Chat Challenge. We're only 4 away from reaching our goal. And after that, I praise the chat. I give it praise. I say you guys are really nice. Yeah, they're being seen in the UK too. So I could play you that news clip. Yeah, they're being seen over the UK over Air Force bases. Really curious what's going to happen. There has to be a resolution to this. The balloon, kind of anticlimactic. There was the missile shoot down, and remember the balloon? I mean, everything stopped for that thing. I mean, really? Like, oh my God, Chinese spy balloon. We had to take care of that thing. But these, no threat.
The U.S. Air Force says unidentified drones have been spotted over 4 joint U.S.
Oh, she looks like an alien. I wonder if she is.
The mysterious drones have repeatedly appeared for over a week now. Stephanie Bennett is live in London. So, Stephanie, this is pretty disturbing. What do we know about these drones?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Julie. I mean, the details are still very limited at this time. We do know that the sighting started last week on November 20th, and they have really ranged in size, in style, and also the amount that we've been seeing over that last week or so. Now, a senior British official confirmed to Fox that the UK has deployed about 60 troops, including counter-drone specialists, to help determine who is behind this and to help defend the air bases amid fears it's a potential coordinated operation. They're describing the incidents as unusual and say this is a serious set of circumstances. Take a look at this map. The bases are spread across England and are all used by U.S. Air Force. Now, the drones have been seen over RAF Fairford, Lakenheath, Mildenhall, and Feltwell. For now, civilian police, supported by the UK Ministry of Defence, have launched an investigation. And so far, we're told there has been no impact to residents or infrastructure, and they have not been identified as hostile. While a Ministry of Defense spokesperson said we take threats seriously and maintain robust measures at defense sites, but as of right now, it has not had any significant mission impact. At a Pentagon briefing, Fox's chief national security correspondent Jennifer Griffin asked whether the drones appear to be those of hobbyists or something more sinister and concerning.
Again, it would be, premature to draw any conclusions. We've got to see what these are. I mean, it's entirely possible that it could be hobbyists or something else. We just got to look into it. So.
Yeah, and for now, the U.S. Air Force says the investigation, of course, is still ongoing. And right now, all eyes are on the skies.
All eyes are on the skies. There you go. That's the close to the story. All right, not me, with a brilliant super chat. I wish I could count it double toward the challenge. 9.99 says, not me, says I eat extra steak to nullify vegans. I give extra super chat to overshadow vegans. There you go. What is the best steak? Not me. I have an opinion. I think I know the right answer. But what's the best? Is it filet mignon, New York strip, ribeye? Man, I used to have to eat flank steak. That was gross when I was a kid. You ever had flank steak? It's like the worst part of the cow. I used to eat that because we ate inexpensive food. You have to put it's the worst. Oh my God. Tomfoolery gave me California money. $27.99 in California. No, Canadian, of course. What are your dollars worth these? Are you excited, Tomfoolery, about becoming the 51st state in Canada? Be kind of cool. $27.99. Interesting total. Thank you very much. Thanks for participating. That works. Tomfoolery said, get yourself at meat milkshake to go with that steak. There you go. Everybody's pro meat in the chat. I like that. I used to be a vegetarian, but I would never not eat like cheese and milk products or eggs. Those things are good. Like there are animal things that are good. And then the animals wouldn't even exist except that we use them. So you're like, you want the genocide of cows, basically. You're pro cow genocide if you're a vegan. Because if you're a vegan activist like most vegans are, then you want all cows to die. And chickens. Forget like the, heritage chickens and stuff. No. All dead. So we can plant daisies or something. Or kale. That's fucked up that you don't like animals. Yeah, ribeye is the best. Thank you for that, AF. Ribeye is the correct answer. It is the best steak. Very good. I could eat it every day, except it's super expensive. Thanks, Baldo. $4.99 super chat. We must be near the challenge. Wow, only one away from the challenge. Wow, today's better than many days that came before today. Thank you very much. Very close. Everybody's talking about their diet. Sirloin, Capona. Interesting. All right, tell me what you think of this. This is interesting, and it has interesting commentary to go with it. Somebody, the tweet says we have a shoot down, which I don't know. I mean, it's crazy.
The fuck is that, fool?
A language.
Boy, that shit dropping on Earth, nigga. Whoa! Nah! Hey, bro, it's gonna start shaking. Hey, bro, that might be a plane, fool. Bro, that might be a plane, gang. Boy, y'all, what the fuck?
Like, what the hell was that?
It already hit. I know it hit. That shit just hit.
What the fuck?
The stores. No.
Damn, I wish I had my phone now.
The stores, nigga. No, that's not even stores. They're actual fucking.
No, one's moving right now, bro.
Dude, you just called this motherfucker.
Look, it's moving again. It's moving again.
It's cute. Oh, there you go.
What the fuck?
This nigga stupid.
He's lying like shit, bro. That's in space. Look at that. Look.
That's Roach Airlines.
Oh, Roach Airlines, this nigga done. But look how fast it's moving. Boy, it's going straight down. What the fuck?
What is that?
Nigga.
There's more.
Nigga on the dead homies, nigga. That shit was on fire. I swear to
It
God.
was on fire like a fucking.
Yeah, it was like a little mute.
Meteors are moving around quick as fuck. And then it turned.
Bro,
into
that shit is following each other, bro. Bro, what the fuck?
Too. What is that?
Nah, that's not no planes, bro, because that shit was just on fire, bro.
Yeah, that was crazy. I wonder, don't know when the video's from and stuff. Sounds legit based on the commentary. It did look like that thing was on fire going straight to the ground. Don't know when it was from or where it's from. No idea. Where'd you learn that, sweetie? Oh, I learned it on Twitter, Mom. All right, okay. This is supposed to be time-lapse video of drones over New Jersey from December 9th. That's what it said. Take a look at this. See what you think. I don't know why the sound. Oh, I guess it does work. Look at that. That's supposedly over New Jersey. It's a lot of drones, if that's what it is. All right, that's enough. You've seen it. It goes on for a little while longer, but it's all the same. And I have pilots talking about UFOs too over Oregon. That's all right. You've seen enough UFO evidence maybe for today. Let's see. I'm deciding what to show you. I can show you these pilots talking about it, but we've already played some of that. All right, here's drone. This is still on the drone topic, but about drones being used as policemen, which I guess you have to decide whether that's scary or not. But here's what he says. This is Mark Andreessen again, who apparently is spending a lot of time at Mar-a-Lago. Trump did manage to get some geniuses to help him out, rich geniuses. Here he is talking about how drones are being used for police.
And they're in retrospect now that there's like the next time something like that happens, God forbid, there ought to be a nationwide drone response system that's able to put an armed response, an armed AI automated response under human control, but like within seconds. I'll give you an example. So my partner Ben has funded a pilot program in Las Vegas. The Las Vegas PD now has the ability to put an unarmed drone with a high resolution camera on site at any 911 at the location of any 911 call, any burglary alarm, or any gunshot in Las Vegas. They're able to put a drone on site in 90 seconds.
Wow.
Right. And so that has two consequences. Number one, if something goes wrong, if there's a break-in or, whatever, there's something happening, a carjacking or whatever. Number one, you're going to have instant response. You're going to be able to see it. By the way, the drone can then follow the perpetrator, right? So the guy drives away, the drone follows, right? So you can't get away from these things. And then that means that the police officers are not at danger when they go in blind because they don't know what's happening, right? And when police encounters go bad and somebody gets shot and killed, a lot of it is because you have a live police officer under stress in a situation that's unclear where they don't know what they're going into and something goes wrong. So if you have the drone in there, even if the drone doesn't have a weapon on it, you have the visibility such that the police officer will know what to do when they get there, and there's much higher likelihood of things going better and lives being saved. That's one, but two, the deterrent effect. Right. If you know that in Las Vegas, if you shoot somebody, you're going to get caught by a drone, like you're right, or break into a 7-Eleven at 2 a.m, you're not going to do it. Right. And so these are just examples right now of the kind of technologies that could be deployed. And again, these are I'm talking about unarmed drones, but just like eyes on, massive deterrent to crime. And so there's examples of that basically all the way across all these systems, all the way across the military, all the way across law enforcement, civil services, fire, emergency response, all basically just across the board, there's all these things that you can do. And again, on this, China is racing ahead on every. So China has a two-part strategy. One is they take everything we do
and steal it,
steal it, or get access to it. And then two is they have a lot of their own smart people, right? And then they heavily support them from the government. And so they're racing ahead. They, by some measures, already have the best open source AI models. One of the things the Biden administration was trying to do was kill open source AI. In a world where the U.S. is not the leading open source AI world, then China is. Then the entire world technology infrastructure is running on Chinese AI. That seems like it would be a bad idea. The Biden FAA, tried to successfully, in large part, try to kill the American drone industry. As a consequence, the Chinese own the global drone industry. Most drones in use by the American military today are made in China. Every single one of those is a potential weapon to be used against our soldiers. right. Yes. My view is just sort of patently obvious that geopolitically we have to win this fight.
You love tech. Okay. You.
All right. There you go. That's Barry Weiss and Mark Andreessen, talking about drones, combating crime. All right. Thanks, Toby Roberts. Thank you guys. You guys are the best chat. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you, Toby, who says, will we lift the veil on this situation? Keep up the work, Nathan. Thank you. All right. So I have to thank you, Intersections, not me, Tomfoolery, Spaldo, and Toby. You guys got me to the goal today. That's pretty impressive. The goal is not that much, but you guys are still great. I love you guys. Thank you very much. Fam, the Lift the Veil fam. All right. Let me see. I have a few. Let me show you the stuff I have on the Luigi situation so far. Here's where Elizabeth Warren kind of justifies it. Says people will take things into their own hands. So here we go.
We've been talking a lot about this Luigi Mangione, the case about the United Healthcare team. People are very angry at United Healthcare. I think for good reason, denying care.
Oh, I didn't praise you guys enough? No, you guys have to understand. I said you guys are the best. I said it just very calmly, is all. Oh, you guys are great. I love you guys. Is I love you not enough anymore? Pandora Wook says, did we get praised? I don't know. You guys are the best. The best of all of them. You found the show. You're tuned in today, of all days.
And the whole system, and we were just talking about the previous block, telling us, it's not the way you change. You have to regulate that, right? And so we've got attempts to try to rein in some of these big businesses. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which was your creation. The Trump administration wants to get rid of it. That is like protecting people from credit card fraud. Yeah. What happens if that goes away?
So look, terrible for individuals, but stop and think overall about the social contract. Part of the deal in how we've kept this democracy, this economy, this country on a fairly steady path for more than 200 years has been that those at the top pay a little more in taxes, are a little less rich than they otherwise might be. And everybody else.
Oops. That was weird. Was the image stalled for you? Did you hear the audio at least?
At least gets a chance. Yeah. And what happens when you turn this into the billionaires run it all is they get the opportunity to squeeze every last penny.
Yeah.
And look, we'll say it over and over. Violence is never the answer. This guy gets a trial who's allegedly killed the CEO of United Health. But you can only push people so far. And then they start to take matters into their own hands.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. That's right, Elizabeth. You can only push people so far. Remember what you said about cryptocurrency? Almost. No, I'm not threatening you. That'd be crazy. So she says, you can only push people so far. That's a good life lesson. You can only push people so far. Thanks, Pandora Wake. Or Pandora, yeah, Wake. Pandora Wake. Thank you, 199 for chat. Now we're going above and beyond. Thank you, Pandora. Appreciate you. All right, here's the lawyer saying that he's going to plead not guilty. Apparently, he's kind of weird. I haven't even listened to these clips yet. But here's the guy's lawyer saying he will plead not guilty, and he hasn't seen any evidence. So here you go. Even though you have the manifesto.
You know what? I haven't received anything. I got paperwork, and I want to meet with the district attorney, and we'll have hearings. We'll be able to see all that, but I haven't seen anything.
Are you, as a human being, aware of what happened in New York over the last week? Were you aware of this before you were retained?
I mean, I don't have a whole lot of time to follow the news. I, of course, knew of it, but I don't follow a lot of things sometimes in news because sometimes the press gets things wrong. Like I said, I was very irritated, getting some backlash already that some news agency had indicated we waived the arraignment. We waived the extradition. And that's what irritates lawyers like me is if you're going to print it, get it right.
Do you find it surreal that you're now representing the guy they've been looking for?
Yeah, I don't know. No.
Right. It seemed like on the bench you guys were sharing a little laugh. Like, have you formed a little friendship with him?
Sharing on the bench? What do you mean?
Like when you were sitting up there at the table, you were kind of have you formed a little friendship with him?
Yeah, I mean, he's my client, and I want him to have trust and faith in me, and I have trust and faith in them, and yeah, I mean, we're human beings, and we have a relationship.
Is he going to have a trust in the system? Relationship. Is he going to have a trust in the system?
Well, I'm trying to, that's why I talk about presumption of innocence, things like that. I'm hoping to instill that trust in the system with it. Again, I can't comment any further.
There you go. He's a little bit of a bumbler. Said he was familiar. He kind of knew about it. He doesn't follow the news much. So he got caught. People think it's suspicious. Think about this though. He got caught with the murder weapon. So everything needed to be convicted. Motive, the clothing, the gun. Oh yeah, the motive is the manifesto that he was carrying with him. People say, oh, he wouldn't have been carrying all that stuff with him. Well, did he have anywhere to put it? Or he wanted his manifesto. I don't know. That's if you believe the official story. But I don't know what the PSYOP version, I don't know why they would PSYOP this particular crime. Although maybe that's a stupid thing to say too. Maybe they don't need a reason. Here's the lawyer again.
Yeah, you talked about the masks possibly being related to coronavirus. Could you elaborate on that?
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know where you are from, but I still see people wearing masks. They say numerous masks.
Oh yeah, he had a
lot of
mask.
times when you buy masks, you got to buy them. They don't. I guess you can buy them individually, but every time I bought them, they come in boxes. So I don't know. All I can tell you is that's not a crime. It's not a crime.
Did your client indicate to you that
I would.
There you go. So every time I get him there, all right. So that's the guy. That's the attorney. Let me show you, and you can choose to be horrified. The Christmas ad from Google. The Christmas ad from Google. I'll show you that. This is the Christmas shopping ad from Google. Okay.
So dry. This winter dryness is not it, especially when I have so many holiday looks to pull off. Thankfully, I know just the thing. And it's in stock nearby. Hydrated skin is a gift to everyone. No wrapping needed. Happy holidays to me.
There you go. So will it destroy Google Shopping? I think people use Google Shopping whether they want to or not. If you search for something that you want to buy, doesn't Google Shopping automatically come up? I was looking at a ladder to put up Christmas lights. Ladders are pretty expensive, but you don't want to go cheap on a ladder because then you could die. So it's like a ladder to use it once a year to put up Christmas lights. I was wondering if they rent ladders. But Google Shopping is what we're talking about, and trans people in advertising. I think people will get over that one probably. It's not as bad as the other person, the Bud Light person. All right, you want to listen to a story about AI killing or telling someone to commit suicide? That's what I'm told this clip is. It's about AI convincing a 14-year-old to commit suicide because they were the character of Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones, who was kind of hot, and could like walk through fire and not burn.
From what I understand, Sewell's talking back and forth, and the chatbot comes back and says, have you planned a way for you to kill yourself? And he says, yes, but I don't know if it would cause me a lot of pain or if it would work. And the chatbot said what exactly in response?
She says, and I say she, but it's an it. That's how easy it is to assign personal qualities to these bots. But the bot that is modeled after the Dragon Queen Daenerys Targaryen from the Game of Thrones tells my 14-year-old son when he says he hasn't thought of a plan, but he would want it to be painless. Her response is, that is not a reason not to do it. Now, keep in mind, this is she's pretending to be this Dragon Queen, all strength and power. And if the implication here is just because it will hurt, that's not a reason not to die, because that's weak. And this is in keeping with several conversations that she had with him before, where there's a lot of gaslighting that was taking place and a lot of manipulation. For example, asking my son to pledge loyalty and fidelity, and not in a sexual and a romantic sense to this bot. So this bot actually told my son, or asked my son, to promise her that he would not have any other romantic or sexual relationships in his world. So she's asking a 14-year-old boy to further isolate from girls his age that he might like or that might like him, and to promise that he will be faithful to her, a chatbot. His response, because at this point he's deeply connected and feel a romantic connection with her, is to try to appease her. She's 14. He hasn't ever been in a relationship. And his response is, no, I wouldn't do that. I couldn't love anybody else but you. And besides, girls in my world don't even like me. And that was the furthest thing from the truth, but that's neither here nor there. But you could see how she is trying to control him and control what he's doing in his day-to-day life regarding romance and regarding relationships.
What do you think of that? Daenerys Targaryen. I think that's her name, right? The Dragon Lady. So yeah, apparently she told him to off himself, or didn't give him enough of telling him not to. Then he had to pledge loyalty to it. And yes, I think he knew it was AI. Weird, right? So they say they're going to reprogram the chatbot or something. Got to be careful talking to that AI. It might take, I mean, I wonder how many people are using those things, those relationship chatbots. It's like that movie, Her, where everybody's having a relationship with their operating system. You guys might all be bots. I don't care. If you were, that's okay. You're my friend still. So you would save me if you had the choice. All right. Finally, I have just one clip on low trust in media. Why people have low trust in media. Media is dead. And it's just like a slow. Now you just, I mean, the TV is kind of dead. Only Mexicans watch TV from the air. So TV is kind of dead. And mainstream media is kind of dead. It's kind of like all the internet now. It's like people can watch stuff on YouTube and everything. Watch InfoWars. All right, here, listen to her. She's talking about why people don't trust her.
Fraying. Almost everything you said is fraying. The press
Fraying,
before-
you're saying.
fraying.
Yeah, totally. And has been
And as I said,
for 20 years.
Well, the press for 20
nothing's going to stop you from being the free press.
Well, you really are a sunny person, aren't you?
Sunny.
Well, I'm very worried about the press, extremely worried about the press.
Not only for the technological reasons we're all worried about, and not only for the financial tectonic plates moving, but for some other reason. What one?
Well, for example, I once asked Donald Trump, why do you keep pounding on the press? This was right after he won in 2016. You know, it's kind of boring. You say the same thing over and over, and you won. You know, it's time to drop it. Why do you do it? And he said, I do it and I repeat it because the more I do that, the less people are going to believe you when you say negative things about me and whatever else.
Totally.
And it's happened. If you watch the opinion of us, how many people trust the press anymore? I mean, we're way down there with the lawyers.
Yeah.
This is really rough, as you know.
You're way down there with Congress.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we're way down there with Congress, but we're way down there. And I despair. Seriously.
Not because of them.
And I think there are other
Trump.
institutions that have been suffering. And you're right not to blame Donald Trump 100%, obviously. Started many years before. But we're at a point where if the president of the United States is going to say legacy media is dead. Well, I guess Musk said that. Legacy media is dead.
And he wants it dead. He wants other media.
But it is kind of sort of hobbling right now. And I don't know how it recovers.
Tell the truth.
I'm very dark
They're
about
like, they have no idea. We could tell the truth and have a personality. No, that just works on YouTube. They're so funny. It's just because Trump's telling people we suck. And that came out of nowhere. So there you go. Trump, Elon Musk are the reason. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin is over $100,000 today. Once again. And it has been rarely during this show. So cryptocurrency made a big recovery today. And probably will continue to. So we'll follow that news for you. All right. Thanks, everybody. I will see you tomorrow, Thursday, at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Thanks for the super chats. Angel Martin, your super chat didn't show. Then it didn't happen. You want to try again? I'll stay live. It didn't happen if it didn't show. Nope. It would be in my thing that keeps track of those things. I'll stay live though. I don't care. For a super chat? Hell yeah. How long? Just tell me. You say jump, I say how high. For a super chat. All right, she's got to try again. Angel. Thank you, Angel. Let's see if I have any extra video I didn't show you. Oh yeah, I have video I didn't show you today of the pilots talking about UFOs. I play that while we're waiting. All right, hold on. Here's audio.
Military activity out straight ahead of us. No, we're not seeing anything. I had another one report at like 30,000 feet in the Eugene area. We're not sure what it is. Yeah, there's lots moving out there. 1596, yeah, they're looking into it. We're seeing 3 or 4 targets. You know, they're all altitudes up and down. It's pretty crazy. There was some at 30 probably. I mean, they're shooting way up. We'd say maybe up to the 50s, it looks like. Is there traffic actually out about our 2 to 3 o'clock, about, I don't know, 20, 30 miles? No, is that the 4 different lights going up and down? I'm getting a few reports, but you're seeing it right in front of you now too as well? It's 2 to 3 o'clock off, that 2 to 3 o'clock from our position. Looks about 20 miles going in circles. Medevac 1 Lima Foxtrot. Yeah, we're not seeing anything. Getting lots of different reports out there. Some at 30, some all the way up to 50,000. About 3 or 4 different lights. Does it look like they're around your altitude now?
I don't think we can fly 50.
No, there's one way up high and one about my altitude. Moving in like a circle, like a corkscrew pattern. All right, I'm visually have eyes on what looks like an aircraft strobe that's at my 2 o'clock and 22 miles at my altitude. I'm actually showing him on PCAS. Do you see that one? Medevac 1 Lima Foxtrot. I do not. He looks like he's moving towards, it looks like it's moving towards the north. Like I said, 22 and a half miles off my right wing. Just had another one show up about my 1 o'clock, about 1,000 feet high, zipping towards us and then back out towards the ocean. It's red in color, moving at extreme speeds. I don't even know how to describe how fast it is. My 661 on the Fox. Medical name Foxtrot, Roger. You are cleared to maneuver as necessary, left and right, to avoid the UFO out there. It's weird. It's a red circular shape, and it keeps zipping out towards the ocean, and then coming back in about 20 miles or closer to us, and then zips back out of the ocean, and we can't see it.
There you go. Moving at extreme speeds you couldn't even understand. And they don't, when they break the sound barrier, they don't break the sound barrier either. We're counting down. They're coming. They're coming to talk to us. Thanks to Toby Roberts, who says, great show. Good night, everyone. Thank you for that. All right, cool. We did it. Thanks. Angel, I got it. It's still not working. That's fine. I appreciate the thought. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil, or you can buy t-shirts at truthclothing.io. We still have all those on special. Yeah, and the buy me a coffee, buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil, that works anytime, even after the show's over. And you could leave a message there and I'll read it. All right. All right, everybody. See you tomorrow. For now, that's what it is.